if one night your front door opened on its own and something entered your home that had never been there before, what would you do? This is the story of Rohan, a night he never wanted to remember, but could never forget either. Rohan, a 27-year-old man, lived alone in his old ancestral house. This house had belonged to his grandfather, a large wooden house far from the city on the edge of a small village. Rohan's parents had passed away years ago, and he had inherited this house. People said there was something in this house, but Rohan considered these just superstitions. That night, it was raining. Lightning flashed again and again. Rohan sat in his room working, when suddenly, the lights went out. The entire house was submerged in darkness. Rohan found a candle, lit it, and went downstairs toward the hall to turn on the generator. As Rohan came down the stairs, he saw the hall door, which he himself had closed that evening, was open. Rohan stopped. His heartbeat quickened.
Maybe it opened from the wind.
He moved forward. In the candlelight, his shadow on the walls seemed to move strangely, as if someone else was also in the room. Rohan stopped. No answer came. Only the sound of rain and the beating of his own breath. He moved toward the generator room, but on the way his eyes fell on an old photograph on the wall. His grandparents' wedding photo. But this time, there was a third face in the photo too. A woman in a white sari, her face blurred. Rohan had never seen this photograph like this before. Rohan's hands were trembling. He looked closely at the photograph, and just then, the candle flame suddenly went out. In the darkness, Rohan heard footsteps behind him. He turned. Nothing was there. But a voice echoed in his ears so faint it was almost like a breath.
You've come back.
Rohan's entire body went numb. This voice wasn't a man's, it was a woman's, as if someone was speaking from very far away, yet right beside his ear. He ran toward his room, and while climbing the stairs, his foot slipped, and he fell. When he looked up, at the top of the stairs stood the woman in the sari, exactly as she was in the photograph. But this time her face wasn't blurred. That face was his mother's. Rohan screamed.
Mom?
The woman gave no answer. She slowly began descending the stairs toward Rohan. Rohan backed away, but his back hit the wall. He was trapped. The woman came very close to him. There were tears in her eyes.
You left me and went away. After so many years, you've come back. But it's too late, son.
Rohan's breath stopped. He remembered the night his mother had passed away. He wasn't home. He had gone away for college work, and by the time he returned, everything was already over. He had left his mother alone in her final moments. And that's when Rohan understood. This house had been calling him because his mother's soul had been waiting here, in this house, for him. Every year, on that date when he returned, she tried to meet him. But every time Rohan would get scared and run away, and by the next morning he would remember nothing. This time Rohan didn't run. He reached out his hand toward his mother.
Forgive me, Mom.
Rohan touched his mother. A cold gust of wind swept through the entire house. The lights came back on. The woman had vanished. Rohan stood alone on the stairs, drenched in tears. The next morning, an old man from the village asked Rohan,
"Son, do you know that every year, on this very night, a woman's shadow appears in your house?"
And Rohan smiled and said,
Yes, now I know, and now she has found peace.
But what Rohan didn't tell anyone was that when he went back to his room that night, there was a note on his table. written in handwriting exactly like his mother's.
Don't come back next time, son. Because next time, I will take you with me.